You're listening to KPCA LP 103.3 FM in beautiful Petaluma, California. I'm Naomi Takeuchi. I'm here on Facebook Live as well on The Movie Muse. Thank you for tuning in. And also you can reach us online at kpca.fm. And for those of you watching online on The Movie Muse, you'll notice that Don R. Lewis is in the studio with me today.
Good evening. And for those of you not watching on Facebook Live, Naomi looks great in her Armani gown. I didn't know, I got my tux out of storage for
We're
this.
a week early, but,
It's good to break it in a little bit, but you look great. It's a great outfit. Where are those earrings from?
They're actually from South Africa.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't see them with my headphones on.
I can see them, though. And if you're not watching on Facebook Live, you should really, we look great.
Well, what's hilarious about being on Facebook Live, too, is that Ray Cooper, who's been on this show before, said when I had him on the show, it's like I didn't have my hat on. He said, where's the hat? I said, well, it wasn't cold that day, so this might be my new hat that I wear all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and for those of you watching, you'll probably notice I'm wearing this t-shirt. It says, "When Indie Meets Epic." And I got this t-shirt from the Toronto International Film Festival. And the hat is also from Toronto, too. It's a Canadian company called Roots.
You don't say, eh?
Hey, yeah. In fact, I was at a Red Box yesterday, and somebody asked me where I got the hat. I go, well, it was maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
so
in
you
Canada.
can try.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, eh?
That's when I say I want to meet your girlfriend. I'm like, you don't know her. She lives in Canada.
So, well, for those of you listening, I need to pull up Don's bio.
She's going to pull up my bio.
Before I do that, why don't I first of all talk about some really cool things happening at PCA and for some fundraising things that we're doing. So one of the things, one of our local vendors here, Mary's Pizza, the one that's on East Washington,
we call it the West Side Mary's.
The West Side Mary's Pizza. The West Side.
Yeah. The one by the Art Center, kind of by the Smart Train building, not the one by Frieden Brothers.
Okay.
That's easier.
Okay. So if you take a flyer, there's a flyer that's available here.
Here, look, I'll hold it up.
In fact, that's the cool thing about being on Facebook Live, is that you can see the flyer.
You can also just show it on your phone.
That's true.
Event. Yeah,
that's true. I think you can get it from kpca.fm too.
You can get it on our Facebook page. You can get it here in the studio. Do we have to keep looking at the camera?
It's actually nice because, people watching us like to know that we're actually interacting with them. Okay. I think this is new for you, right? As far as doing Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, yeah.
During the broadcast.
I have a storied history in radio. just decades.
And for those of you watching, you see I'm not in a gown, so all right. So let's go back. If you go to Mary's Pizza, show them the flyer or show them something on the phone, or even I think if you just say PCA or KPCA.
I think you got to show them the flyer. You got to give a little proof. And it's on Wednesday, March 6th.
Yeah, that's true. It has to be Wednesday, March 6th between I think 11 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Open to close, yeah.
Because I was looking at the hours. I said, well, I go to the Wednesday Film Festival.
Oh yeah.
The Petaluma campus.
So. Yeah. Well, Naomi, you can.
I could probably bring some pizzas.
You can bring
me.
pizza. You don't have to just dine in order for PCA to get 15%. You can get to go, you can get takeout, or you can dine in. And I'm pushing this so hard because I know you're going to read my bio, but I am the executive director here at PCA now, and this is our first fundraiser.
It's your job.
So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be good to meet for people who've only ever heard.
So simply show or bring a dine and donate flyer to the restaurant, and PCA and KPCA. So PCA is our television side, KPCA is our radio side. Will receive 15% back from your total bill. And the 15% is good for in-house dining, takeout, or delivery. So imagine that. You can have the pizza delivered to you. Make sure you have a flyer, so print the flyer out when you're at home.
Correct. Or just show it on your phone.
Or show it on your phone. Or
physical proof. That's all they need.
That's all they need. And they
have your child recreate it.
Or donate. And you can go to our social media. I know we have Petaluma Community Access.
Yep.
And Instagram, Facebook, all these places. I'll post it here on the Movie Muse Facebook page too.
That'd be great.
And then that way you can check that out. And on top of that, another little fundraiser we're doing, which I'm co-sponsoring, I guess, as the Movie Muse.
Correct.
Next week is Oscar week.
A week from tonight is the this time next Sunday.
This time, next Sunday.
We'll know.
Actually, an hour before.
Well,
because we start at 6 for this show, but the actual broadcast starts at 5.
But we'll know by this time next week who Best Supporting Actress is.
Right. That's always the kickoff.
They always kick that off.
Best Supporting Actress. So KPCA and the Movie Muse will be hosting a casual, I want to emphasize this, casual Oscar viewing party.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who remember, I started last year. And the day of the Oscars, we had at the Mystic Theater a big event. And I was in a gown. And then I had to come over here to the radio station and actually do the broadcast in my gown. So there's a picture of me in the lobby. At least, just head and shoulders shut.
Just running down the street in gown.
Running down the street in my gown. So here at 205 Keller Street, Suite 102 on the ground floor. The doors will open at 4:30, and with the viewing starting at 5. We have a little lobby area with a big screen TV, so we're going to have a little viewing party there. A suggested donation of $5 to help the station. And you don't have to worry about long evening gowns or tuxedos. In fact, jeans and t-shirts are completely appropriate. And my broadcast will start at 6. So we're going to open the doors 4:30. In fact, Dominic Delveni is going to be here.
Great.
I had invited him to be on my show earlier.
There's going to be popcorn and snacks.
We're going to have popcorn. We have a popcorn popper in the lobby that we're going to be running. We'll also have some water, too, and some donated goodies from some of the local communities. So we're really excited about that. So please come. And the other cool thing, this is a surprise because I just found out about this. A couple members from the Sonoma County roller derby team are going to be here. And
because nothing says Oscar like
well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say who would win Best Supporting Actress if it was done roller derby style.
Oh, I like it.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the winners and then talk about who would have won.
I thought you were saying Martin Scorsese was going to be here or something.
Well, that would be cool, too.
Maybe next year.
That would be super cool if
we're going to have to up our membership.
So please help support PCA by attending and or listening to this event. And, of course, many of you are anxiously awaiting, who is this person with you, Naomi, in the studio?
It's me.
It's Don Lewis, and Don Lewis loves film. He's the editor of the website of Hammer to Nail, which is dedicated to small independent films. And prior to that, he was a managing editor at the Film Threat.
What's a website?
Okay.
They're back now, but they were gone for a while.
If you're a film, you're being threatened right now by his company. So it's a film review site. He's directed 2 documentary shorts and produced several short films, features, and documentary films, including the feature film The Violent Kind, which premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 2010. That must have been super cool. And Holy Ghost People, which premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival in 2013. He's also directed a documentary on the world's ugliest dog contest called Worst in Show.
Yes.
Which takes place right here in Petaluma.
Petaluma represent?
Yes, very cool. So Don holds a bachelor's degree in screenwriting from Cal State Northridge and a master's degree in cinema studies from San Francisco State. And he also is the brand new, got that new car smell.
Yes.
Executive Director of Petaluma Community Access. So welcome, Don.
Thanks for having me.
I know we've been talking about having you on the show, so this is really exciting that we're going to be doing the Oscar prediction episode.
Bum, bum, bum.
And it's funny because last year I did this with Jared Weiner, who was one of our interns, so it was really great because I called it Shape of Water. I said Shape of Water was going to be Best Director and Best Film. So it'll be interesting to see what some of our picks are. But before I do that, I do want to do a shout out real quickly to Stephanie Butler, who was over here at the cinemas here in Petaluma.
Oh, right.
Because I was seeing that movie, They Shall Not Be Forgotten, the World War I movie.
Right.
And I had forgotten or lost my keys, so she was helping me. We're crawling around and looking underneath the chairs and everything. And she looks at me, she goes, "How do I know you? And are you famous?" I go, "Well, not really.
Internet famous.
I have this little radio show here, the Movie Muse." She goes, "That's how I know you. I'm a fan." So I have one fan out there. And so I got a picture of her. We got a selfie together.
I saw it. I just want to know if when she found the keys, did she jump up and say, "They shall not be forgotten"? Because that would have been just like mic drop.
we had not found the keys, and it turns out I had the keys with me the whole time. I put them in a different pouch in my bag. You know how you normally, you have your keys in a certain spot.
You just upset your rhythm and you...
Well, as you know, and thank you everyone who has sent condolences to me about my dog passing. So he passed on Friday the 8th, and ever since I've been my brain has just not functioned properly.
It changes everything, I've had that happen recently twice.
Nice shout out to Stephanie. Appreciate you helping me. And that was a great movie. I was really surprised that it didn't get more publicity.
Yeah.
Because Peter Jackson did an amazing amount of work.
Yeah, I'm not sure
archive footage.
Yeah, so if people don't know, it's the World War I archive footage that he recolorized and re-brought together, and it looks like a brand new film, right?
It looks amazing. Yeah, and on top of that, he also did a lot of work on the sound for that. So I don't want to give it away because what's nice about it, the film itself is about an hour and 40 minutes, and then he has another 30 minutes behind the scenes and what he did to create this film.
I think they had a hard time marketing that. I know they did a Fathom Events thing, but I mean, who are you going to market that to? If it wasn't Peter Jackson, would it even be in theaters? Would probably just have gone straight to like National Geographic Channel or something.
Probably true.
But he probably paid for it himself.
And Fandango, you couldn't buy tickets on Fandango for it. So you had to kind of search and know.
It's in 3D at the theater down in Center Fell, which I think would be interesting.
Oh.
If you get that World War I experience.
Yeah,
I heard they're going to blow in smells of gangrene. Just like...
If you want to, you'll have a gas mask next to you instead of the 3D goggles.
They do a mustard gas thing at the hour 20 mark. You should probably...
Can you do that? Can you put a gas mask over 3D glasses?
Let's find out.
I don't know.
Let's find out.
We might have to show up with our gas mask. We're ready. We're ready for this movie. So in fact, since we're mentioning movies, because it's Oscar season, I've been seeing just about 1 or 2 movies a day.
I've been trying to catch up too,
and it's just been insane. So I'm not going to be doing my traditional. If you're new to the Movie Muse, I normally do a couple reviews first, and then I segue into the topic. But since today's topic is the Oscar predictions, we're going to have so much to talk about.
Get out your crib sheets because I'm going to beat Naomi. You and I got to go head to head on this too because I think I can beat you.
I got a pretty good record.
Well, let's bring it. This is a good segue. All right. Bring it on, Naomi. Start it off.
It's on.
Here we go.
You're going down, my friend.
Bring it.
All right. So one thing that we're going to save the best for last, and
documentary.
I will post this onto both. I guess do we have a file section on the Facebook page?
Yeah, I think so.
So I have, similar to last year, my movie prediction sheet. So see, I'm showing it to you now, so you all know that
it's real.
I'm putting it.
It's like a magic trick.
Let
me see that.
Paper.
It's real. Yes. If you're like the audience member. No, it's real paper.
It's real paper. Yeah. This is not an illusion. This is a real thing. So one of the things that I love too are the short films, and I know when you and I spoke that. Don already told me, he goes, I didn't look at any of the short films. And normally I would because a couple of our local theaters show them. Yeah. But I just didn't have time this year. So I did go to the animated ones. So cool. I'm just going to do that quick.
Go for it.
Because I know...
Yeah. And I want to say too, those are the ones, if you're doing an Oscar pool, like we always do one with my family for the Oscars, those are the ones where people usually win. You might, if you can get the little ones right, and it's usually you're guessing, then that'll put you ahead in your Oscar pool. If people do one, that's just my...
All right, so I'm going to be ahead just because I'm voting and he's not.
But you've seen them. Well, I would vote in my Oscar pool when we do one, but I haven't seen. I was just guessing.
Oh, gotcha.
But you actually have some...
I try not to vote unless I've actually seen at least 4 out of the 5 films.
I got you.
Because I figure it's not really fair, and I'll tell you, I'll give you a disclaimer if I haven't seen some of these. So for Best Animated Short, the nominees are Animal Behavior, Bow, Late Afternoon, One Small Step, and Weekends. And this was such a delight to watch. All of them are fantastic. My personal pick on this one is the one from Ireland. It's called Late Afternoon. So I'm going for that. And I think another reason why I'm picking that is last year the Kobe Bryant film won.
Yeah, that was bad.
And, well...
That he won.
Yeah. It's not bad that he won.
Wasn't it about him?
It was his basketball, his interaction with the basketball and how it became a part of his life. And I thought, though, what's interesting is the animation style, I think, is why it won.
Oh, okay.
And this film has a similar animation style to the one that won last year.
I got you.
But I like the story of this one better. So cool. I'm going for Late Afternoon on that one for the win.
I'll take your word for it.
So why don't I check with you on which ones you voted on, and then
I just did all the big ones for now.
All the big ones.
All the major
okay. Did
categories.
you do the scores or the
original score?
song?
Yep.
Okay.
And of course, the ones that the Oscars tried to leave out: editing and cinematography.
Oh yeah. Why don't we talk about that for just a moment?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
There were 4. I know. Well, they were trying to be mindful of time. And remember that year that Jimmy Kimmel hosted, and they gave away a jet ski.
Yeah.
And I think Helen Mirren won the jet ski or something. But it was crazy.
That was good.
It's like for the shortest nomination speech, I think, or award speech. But for this year, the Academy said, okay, this is what we're going to do for best cinematography, for best film editing, best live action short, and best makeup and hairstyling. We're going to show those during the commercial breaks.
So the people at home don't get to see the stuff that actually makes your movie look good.
Yeah. Right. Which, especially cinematography.
Oh, it was outrageous.
Who in their right mind would think, oh yeah, let's put the best cinematography in another commercial break? So there was enough of a revolt and an outcry that they said, okay, fine.
Right.
We're going to do it.
They're going to add, there's two issues here. One is that, and the unspoken thing is, they aren't glamorous. You know, no one's going to win who's a fancy celebrity and all that.
Right.
And I get that. But that's the issue with the Oscars
thing.
Is you want to get people to watch, and then you want to have, you know, these beautiful people in dresses and tuxes and all this stuff. But you can't have a movie show without cinematography and all this stuff. And the other issue I have with this whole thing is, yes, the Oscars are long. Who cares? I don't care. I have nowhere else to go.
That's what a DVR is for,
it's
right?
the one night. It's the one night out of the year. I keep telling my friends who don't care about the Oscars, I'm like, it's the one night out of the year where everybody's talking about movies, and for me, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's the same with baseball.
Like
I'm a baseball fan.
Like we are. I mean, this is our World
Let
Series.
It be what
right?
it is. Why do they got to play people off if they're having a beautiful speech that it's almost become a joke. It's like, just start it earlier and let it go till who cares?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right, and if you care, then you're probably not watching it anyway.
Right. It's just like the Super Bowl. There's a lot of people who don't care about the Super Bowl. Well, don't watch it. You know,
and they're trying to shorten baseball games too. It's like, why? Just leave it alone. Who's complaining?
Let people, and that's the whole thing about now that we have all these recording devices.
Right.
Then if somebody really wants to watch it, then they'll just fast forward through the commercials anyway. So
I don't understand the shortening business.
So thankfully, they came to their senses and they didn't do that. So, did you call any of these for cinematography, film editing?
You want to start with that one?
Well, why don't we go in that order?
Yeah, go ahead. You want me to go first?
Yeah, I did the last one. So
I'll just do editing first because I don't want to give too much away. Okay. I think
sound editing or regular film editing?
I just did regular film editing. I didn't do sound. Sound is so.
What?
Every time they win, it's
We're
like...
on a radio show.
No, I know. It's just every time that somebody wins, I'm like, why did that win? I mean, actually, I have the same pick for both. It's Bohemian Rhapsody is my pick. I think
that's film editing?
For film and sound editing. I think that's going to be the token Oscar that they get.
Okay.
And again, here's another point I want to make. When doing an Oscar prediction, I always have films that I want to win, and then I have the films I think are going to win. So I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody deserves anything. I think the nomination was too much for that movie because it's not a good movie.
Well, okay, that I have to agree with you on that. I wouldn't say it was a bad movie. I think it was a decent movie, but there were some things that, like the montage sequence, it was just like, oh, not another montage sequence.
I think I told you like last week, and I've been telling people when they ask me about it, I'm like, I think I know less about Queen now. Like, I know, there's Brian May, there's Freddie Mercury, and then there's these two other guys, and they had a hit.
Okay, so I'm going to put down on
my
list.
Picks?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Whoa.
We're way off.
So Bohemian Rhapsody is Dawn's pick for film editing and sound.
Dawn is going for, this pen is not working, which is why I'm hesitating here.
That is not what I picked.
So Dawn is picking Bohemian Rhapsody for both film editing and sound editing.
Because sound editing gets offered up to people who don't, maybe necessarily know. And they're like, well, there was music in it, and it sounded good. Okay.
So for film editing, I'm actually going with Vice on this one. And the reason why is because they took documentary footage and incorporated it into the film. And they also had to resize some of that into the television monitors. So they had to do green screen or something in there. So I'm giving it to Vice for that reason. Okay. So that's my pick for film editing.
I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I mean, I disagree, but I hear what you're saying.
You're saying Bohemian Rhapsody, but as far as the film editing side, it's pretty standard. Yeah. Nothing spectacular in the editing realm. And I love editing, so that's kind of like I'm looking at this, and I'm going for Vice mostly because of the documentary film footage that they incorporated in. The other one for sound editing, I actually went with Black Panther on that one.
I'd love that if
and
that won.
The reason why for that, as far as editing, is that there was a lot of special effects sounds that they had to build and incorporate because of the new world that they were creating.
Right,
so,
and Ryan Coogler used a lot of like true African sounds and things like that and brought them in.
Exactly.
If I had my druthers, whatever those are, I would actually have First Man as my pick for sound editing. That's a very quiet movie that was really brought around by the sound design.
Right.
But I still think I'm sticking with Bohemian.
Okay, you're going for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Can we say that on the radio?
Actually, I think you can.
Because I put the Rhapsody part?
Well, that also is a different form of the S word. And so the S word you definitely can't say, but I think you can say the C word version of the S word.
Not the C word. Rhapsody. Okay, let's keep going here.
Okay. What about sound mixing? Since it's all in the same kind of category.
Where's my list?
Would you go with Bohemian Rhapsody on sound?
Yeah,
mixing?
Honestly, I think people just filling that one in and they like. I don't think they think that much about
I actually gave that one to Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. Mostly because with sound mixing, having to take some of the real sound and make the existing sound that they're working with sound as close to the real footage. So,
yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
So that's my pick. So we agreed on that. Okay, cool. All right, what about... Where do you want to go next? You want to go
You're the boss.
How about... Well, since we're talking about sound, what about best score?
Oh, that's a good one. Original score?
Yeah, I think it would be original score. Because I have original song, I have score here.
We have song, score, yeah.
Yeah.
Score, I'm going to have to go with Black Panther.
I agree with you on that.
Like I said, they added a lot of really African rhythms and beats and things like that, and they made them more mainstream. And then there's that great Kendrick Lamar, or is it Kendrick Lamar? The song that he did, it's right here. I think it's nominated.
No,
it doesn't have his name.
So.
But yeah, it's a great mix of
all the
pop
stars,
and
right? Yeah, no, I'd have to say Black Panther, I think I think it's going to win for sound editing, and I think it's going to win for best score.
I hope so.
It would be great.
I'd love for it to win as much as it can. That's a great movie.
Yeah, and also really. Superhero movie. It's
so
very
good.
rare that you get a superhero movie nominated at all.
And not only that, but a character that, everybody's maybe seen the Black Panther often, but nobody knows anything about it, and that movie was great.
Yeah.
You know? It was like, they took a character that was very, not that well known outside of comic circles and made him straight up to the mainstream. He's an A-list character now.
And he shows up in the Avengers later, which is very awesome. Which is coming soon too, the new Avengers movie.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, well, since we're talking about superhero movies, I'm going to segue to Best Animated Feature, because you can probably tell what my pick is for that.
If Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse doesn't win, there will be a riot.
Yes, I know, exactly. That movie was freaking incredible.
It's so good. It's not.
I
keep telling people it's not just the best animated movie of the year. It's one of the best movies of the year.
Exactly.
It's moving. It's funny. It's beautifully animated. Totally original.
4 different kinds of animation.
It's awesome. It's an awesome feat. Yeah. And I can't believe how good it was, because I don't fall into hype very often, but I took my daughter, and if my daughter's listening, hi story, I took her to see it at the Alamo Drafthouse in San Francisco, because that was her first Drafthouse experience, and I was just blown away by that movie. I can't wait to buy it when it's on Blu-ray.
Absolutely.
It's great.
I went to that with Francesca and Patty, and the three of us were watching this together, and I said, this movie is going to win Best Animated
I hope
Feature.
it does. Pixar always has a leg up on that. I'm a little nervous about it. Incredibles 2.
There's no way, because, well, first of all, also, they won the Golden Globe.
Well, yeah,
so the Golden Globe went to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse already.
But sometimes it feels like, because the Oscar voting comes after the Golden Globes, and people go, well, it won the Golden Globes, maybe we won't give it.
No, I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
I think it gives it better cred.
I would be okay with Isle of Dogs too. That's a pretty fun movie.
Isle of Dogs was also really good, and stop motion animation doesn't get enough, I guess, recognition as far as getting the awards.
So yeah, I think if Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse doesn't win, there's going to be the internet might explode. Instead of Ralph breaking the internet.
I don't even know how that made it into the list.
It's not a very good movie.
No, I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
I'll be honest, I did not see Mirai, even though I'm big into anime. So.
I tried to order it online. I couldn't get it either.
Yeah, it's hard not really available. To find a screening of it, and I would say Incredibles 2 took 14 years to make.
I liked it
because it's a sequel.
Yeah,
I was talking to Jeff, who works here, about Glass.
Oh,
the sequel to Unbreakable.
That. Yeah.
But that took 18 years to make. Because he says, yeah, I thought I was waiting for the sequel to come out. I said, you realize that was done in the year 2000,
well,
right?
Split was kind of an unofficial.
Well, that one was done 3 years ago. Yeah. And that's how
Glass,
they kind of put them together.
Let's talk about happy things. Unbreakable is probably my favorite superhero movie, and Glass, I was angry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was angry. It hurt. I'm still a little hurt, Naomi.
Well, don't be. Don't
just
be.
A movie.
It's just an interpretation.
Just a movie where
I don't
want to give any spoilers.
Make your own version of it.
Let's keep going.
Okay, so we've gone through that. As far as, all right, so I'm looking at my page 2 of my list. Okay, best original song, since we were talking about.
I think again we're gonna, if it's not Shallow, I think the world might implode, and I'm fine with that.
And all the Lady Gaga fans will definitely revolt. They're already revolting anyway because of Glenn Close winning.
That was weird.
Golden Globe.
That was weird.
You think that was weird? That she won?
She's never won an Oscar either, so it kind of gives her a little bit. You want to just go into actress then, since we both agree on Shallow, right?
We can, yeah. Okay. Before we do that, why don't we do best costume design? Did you vote on that for best costume design?
Yeah, it'll probably be the favorite. It's usually some kind of.
That's what I voted
British,
for too.
Yeah, some kind of Euro trash movie.
Well, the other thing is Sandy Powell's nominated twice, so the odds are better that she's going to win because, and it's really cool. She did The Favorite and she did Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
So she's got range too as far as her costume design.
Yeah, I guess. So you could also see it as her splitting the vote though. Well, like Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone as best actress. It's like
that's true,
but I think people tend to vote for those big British.
Well, the other one would
royalty.
be Mary Queen of Scots. As far as that kind of thing.
Similar, yeah.
Though Black Panther could be an upset win here. Because a lot of the costumes in that were pretty phenomenal. And
pretty creative, too, because like when you're looking at things like The Favorite or Mary Queen of Scots, those are just I'm not downplaying the costume design. Right. Those are from textbooks and from living people. Black Panther, much like with their music, created, and it looks very African and very, it's called Afrofuturistic, things like that. I'd love to see. If Black Panther wins, anything it wins, I'm totally happy with. I'm fine. Yeah.
Well, I have The Favorite just because I think that's how the Academy is going to vote. But this would be going back to what you were saying earlier. Who would I like to win?
Right.
I would love to have Black Panther win in this category, but I think the Academy is going to go to The Favorite.
I'm with you.
All right, cool. So you want to jump into Best Actress, right?
Whatever, yeah.
Okay.
You lead the
Or Best Supporting Actress. Why don't we go with Best Supporting Actress?
Yeah, go for it.
Because that is how the Academy will kick off the show.
It will. They usually, this is a good segment. Right. Go for it, Naomi.
Okay. So, Best Supporting Actress, you were talking... All right, so let's talk about who the nominees are. Amy Adams for Vice. Marina de Tavira for Roma. Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. Emma Stone for The Favorite. And Rachel Weisz for The Favorite. So, I think if the Academy votes similarly to the Golden Globes, they will vote for Regina King. My personal pick is Rachel Weisz.
Really?
For The Favorite, yeah.
Tell me why.
Well, I think if you look at what she had to do in that film, especially, I don't want to give away spoilers, but there's a scene where she has to ride off on a horse. Mm-hmm. And that whole scene where she's riding off on the horse and what happens after that. Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
It's a great film. It's one of my favorites. I know you liked it less than I did. It's one of my favorites.
I enjoyed it. I didn't like the cinematography in there.
I love Yorgos Lanthimos. It was weird. Well, I think that was because you're looking at it through a fishbowl. I mean, it's a little, it didn't have to be. It looked a little GoPro-y.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't care for the cinematography, but I loved the acting.
I get you. I love this. I love his films too. He's so.
I think too the ending was something that probably not a lot of Americans could appreciate.
The end scene?
The end. The way it ends.
I think they'll
so we're trying not to give out spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
So you're saying
I think personally I want Rachel Weisz to win. And I think the Academy could lean that way. But honestly, I think the Academy's probably going to vote for Regina King.
I'd be totally happy with Regina King, but who I think is going to win is Marina de Tavira. Because the supporting actress win is typically someone out of left field, like Anna Paquin, or someone that you didn't see coming. Maybe Marissa Tomei or Mira Sorvino.
Marissa Tomei.
Well, I mean, it always starts off with a weird, and then they get back in line right away. So I started watching Roma last night, and I have to say I didn't see it, but that's just my having watched the Oscars so many times, they could be one of those out of left field, and anytime there's a weird out of left field one, it's usually Best Supporting Actors.
Yeah, that's true. And they also mentioned that for Best Supporting Actor, too. That sometimes that could be an upset, too.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd be happy if Regina King won. I love her. And that's a good movie, too, if you'll
So you're going for Marina
I'm going Marina de Tavira, yeah.
And then I'm going for Rachel Weisz, but we both acknowledge it will likely be Regina King.
I think it's I think it's going to be Marina de Tavira.
You really think it's going to be Marina de Tavira?
I think it is. I think here's another, this is a good segue, and you can, I want to get your opinion on this.
Yeah.
I hope I don't give too much away. I think Roma's going to have a big night.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be that would be another way that starts off that way. But I'm also, for some strange reason, and this is where I get in trouble with my Oscar picks, I think The Favorite might sneak in there and do a bunch of damage.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think
I just want to throw that in. I think this is a way, I think it'll be like all the Oscar prognosticators, if she wins, if Marina de Tavira wins, they'll be like, oh, here comes the Roma. Which is,
Roma's taking over. Netflix is taking over the world.
That could be the twist that we take. That could be the big takeaway. And that's why it's funny, I haven't seen Roma, and it's been on my Netflix because I really wanted to see it in the theater, and I kept goofing around, and now it's gone, and I was like, I started watching it last night, and I was like, I'm not in the mood. That's the problem with seeing movies at your house. You're like, but if I would have paid $10, I'm like, of course I'm going to,
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I think Roma could have a big night.
And for those of you tuning in, you're listening to The Movie Muse on KPCA FM, 103.3 FM. I'm having a nice conversation here because we're doing Oscar predictions along with Don Lewis here for PCA's Executive Director. And we just talked about the Best Supporting Actress. So we are splitting the vote on this, and as far as who we think...
It's getting hostile in here.
I don't know.
Oh.
And I think it'll all work out next week.
We're going
to see who
we'll
actually wins.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about Best Supporting Actress. Why don't we talk about Best Supporting Actor?
Okay.
On that. So
read them off.
The nominees are Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for Vice.
It's a tight race right there. I'd be happy with any of those folks winning.
So you go ahead first. I went first.
Well, who I think is going to win. Now that I look at it, though, I had Mahershala Ali as my predicted winner. I think Richard E. Grant's going to take this one.
You think so?
That's kind of a lifetime achievement. He's beloved and he's fantastic. I know you haven't. Did you ever get a chance to see it?
I saw it right before coming on the show.
Oh,
he was amazing.
It's a great movie too.
Absolutely amazing. All the subtlety that he does in that role.
And I don't know if you've ever seen With Nail and I. It's kind of a classic college. He started in that, and he's just so beloved. I think he might sneak in there.
Yeah, he reminds me of like the Stephen Buscemi of Britain.
He's so great. He's so great. And the other person who's beloved is Sam Elliott, who's my dark horse pick. Maybe not going to be a dark horse pick.
I read an article about that they think Sam Elliott might squeak in on this one. But honestly, I still think Mahershala Ali is going to take this.
I think so too.
I've got him down as my winner. Do you have Sam?
I had Mahershala, but when I looked at it again, I was like, it's one of those things. That's why I hate doing like top 10 lists for the year. I'm like, oh, but.
So you're going for Mahershala?
I'm going to go Mahershala.
Okay.
But I really would like Richard Grant to win. I love Sam Elliott, but he's just being Sam Elliott in that movie.
Exactly.
And I don't really.
I'm surprised he got a nomination.
That's kind of a token for all the things you've done.
It was more like, hello. He only had, maybe 10 lines in the movie.
He's really good,
though. He didn't have very much to do.
He's probably the best consistently in that whole movie. I mean, that movie's very all over the place.
Yeah. I had mixed feelings about A Star Is Born.
Yeah. But I think, I'm going to have to go with Mahershala Ali. But I would love to see Richard Grant win.
Yeah, I think Richard Grant, and I just saw this, and this goes back to who would win if it was roller derby time, right?
Yeah.
So I think
if it was roller derby, I'd have to give it to Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Or Adam Driver. He's a big fella.
Well, I was thinking that Sam Elliott might win if it's roller derby style.
Oh, no, I'm saying Sam Rockwell would win.
Sam Rockwell?
He's sneaky.
Yeah, that's
He'll kneecap
true.
you. He looks like the kind of guy who'd like bite your ankle. I don't trust Sam Rockwell at all.
He was amazing when he played Dixon in Three Billboards.
Oh, yeah. He got his thing last year. So
he got his due. And so I also think that's something the Academy tends to do, too, is that if you won last year, then sometimes they don't do
unless you're Meryl Streep.
A twofer. Well, but honestly, I love Meryl Streep, but her role choices have really dwindled.
Well, I think that speaks to a bigger issue of issues with problematic. There's not a lot of films for older women, unless you're like old.
She did The Post, and she got nominated for that last year. But then she does stuff like the Mamma Mia series, and you're like going, Meryl, really?
You know why she did that movie though?
No,
because she can.
Well, that's true. And then she did Into the Woods.
What was the crummy Julia Child one?
Then she did this Mary Poppins Returns.
That, you know what that one was called? That was called Angela Lansbury Said No.
No, Angela Lansbury's in it. No, Angela Lansbury's the balloon lady.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
That was a man.
No. No.
She's like, I'll do it, but I don't want to be
Angela Lansbury is the balloon lady.
Are you serious?
Yes, look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, we're doing a throwdown here.
Go on, keep going.
Throwdown.
Nothing more exciting on radio than Dawn looking something up on IMDb. That's.
All right. So,
did you ever notice that Angela Lansbury looks like Paul McCartney?
I don't know. And you never see them together in the same room.
It's getting weird. Sorry, Paul. Sorry, Sir Paul.
So
sorry, Paul the Walrus
Meryl
as well.
Streep.
Oh yeah, she was balloon
Meryl
lady.
See?
You're right.
Hello, I'm the movie muse.
My bad. Well.
So he just lost a bet there. All right. So going back to Meryl Streep, and she's known for things like Sophie's Choice, Kramer versus Kramer, and now she's doing Mamma Mia. Like, hello.
Meryl has bills to pay, Naomi. Meryl has. People love Mamma Mia. My daughter loves Mamma Mia.
I like Mamma Mia too.
Okay.
But Meryl Streep can do better.
I don't think there's that many roles for women of her age that are that talented. I think she's just having fun.
And
she was great in Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Yeah, I mean.
She was okay.
I mean, look at
she was great.
Here's a good example. Okay. Let's look at the best supporting. I mean, the best. Do we already do actresses?
We have not done actresses.
This is a good segue, but these are all relatively young ladies. I mean, not Glenn Close, but I don't know. Go ahead. Read them off.
Okay.
Read them off.
So, for Best Actress, we have Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me? So,
that's another good
it's a heavy-hitting group of ladies there.
You've got me all fired up on Can You Ever Forgive Me because I loved it so much.
I loved it, but
I don't think
Melissa McCarthy is going to.
That was such a nuanced role, though.
It was great.
It wasn't her usual slapsticky. She was really putting in the acting chops.
Slapstick moments.
Yeah.
But she was phenomenal.
She's fantastic. It's a great movie. I got to tell, if you haven't seen it, it really slipped by and didn't get enough attention, and it's a fan. It's called Can You Ever Forgive Me? It's based on a true story about a woman who falsifies letters from authors.
Right.
Because she's
an
failed
author herself.
Somewhat.
Well, she's not really failed. It's just that her topic is not of interest.
Yeah.
She's very passionate about biographies.
Right.
And she wants
really
to do a biography on Fanny
third
Brice.
level. Yeah, like third level people. Yeah.
Yeah. And the publisher's going, look, nobody's going to pay for this. And I think what I loved about her role too is that it touches on also ageism in the workplace a little bit.
Which is kind of what we're talking about with Best Actress.
Earlier with Best Actress. So that's a good segue.
Yeah, perfect. Well played, Naomi. So wait, my pick though is Lady Gaga.
No.
That's my pick. I don't know who I want to win.
You're definitely losing.
That's not who I want to win. You don't think she's going to win?
No. Oh. No way.
Look at it this way.
Absolutely
How can a broadcast, which wants to get rid of the boring stuff, quote unquote, their words, not give it to the most electric performer on the whole entire nominee?
Because her performance was not good.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Reason.
That's neither here nor there.
Yes, it is.
I think she's going to win, but who I'd like to win.
Traditionally, if you look at all these Star is Born remakes, Judy Garland won, Barbara Streisand won. Theoretically, Lady Gaga should win.
And they love it when beautiful actresses dress down. Oh, look, she in the first half of that movie, she's not wearing makeup. Oh my gosh, they love that. See, now I'm getting in your head.
No, you're not.
Whoa. That's who I think's going to win.
That's because there's no way she's going to win.
That's who I think is going to win.
And then there's going to be a
who I want to win is Olivia Colman from The Favorite.
I would love for her to win.
I think she might have. I think The Favorite's going to shake some trees.
To me, it's going to be between Olivia Colman and Glenn Close. And I'm giving it to Glenn Close only because I just saw The Wife. And it was
How'd you see it? It's
amazing.
Like in the Witness
Protection
Program.
It's now available at Redbox.
Oh, you saw it for $1.
I saw it for $1.75. That's right.
Would you forget to drop it back off in time?
No, it's $1.75.
Why?
I'm not sure because it was maybe because it's so brand new.
All right.
And
the red box.
The first red box I went to, it was sold out.
Oh.
And then I had to go to another red box because that's how in demand it is. So
at Glenn Close.
I tell you, but if you haven't seen it, have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
Has anybody besides you?
I will say
the other person, the other red box. The other red box.
There's one copy at each red box.
That's what happened in the Golden Globes, where he's like, "What? What's the wife? I thought that was a TV show."
I will tell you that I had no idea about the wife, and when I did my Oscar or my Golden Globe predictions, I had not seen the wife then.
Nobody had.
And I was thinking, okay, so I gave it to Olivia Colman back then, and I think she won for Golden Globes because they split it in the Golden Globes for comedy versus acting. So
did they call The Favorite a comedy?
I believe it was considered a comedy.
That is, no pun intended, pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
It's just kind of farcical.
So going back to that, I'm picking Glenn Close for this because I did watch it, and she has a nuanced performance in some cases, and then some over-the-top, in-your-face types of moments. And her playing off of Jonathan Pryce is one of my favorite British actors.
He's great.
He was freaking amazing. He was just the two of them. I'm surprised he didn't get nominated. I mean, compared to Sam Elliott, it's like I'm thinking you gave Sam Elliott, but you didn't give it to Jonathan Pryce.
Yeah.
And people are kind of inconsistent.
Mr. Pryce needs a better agent.
He does.
Well, that's the thing too. I would never ever share an Oscar screener that I get in the mail. But if I were to, I never got the wife. Why didn't they send that out? It's a miracle this is even nominated because usually they didn't put any effort into it at all.
That's a good point. Well, it was, and I watched also, since I had it on DVD, I watched some of the behind the scenes discussions. Oh. This film was written 15 years ago.
Oh, just on a shelf somewhere?
It just made it to the screen.
Wow.
Well, part of it has to do with the story, and I don't want to give away any spoilers, but...
It's about a wife.
Yes,
Spoiler alert.
And a husband, too.
I know. Have one without the other.
I know. So I just think Glenn Close... It's going to be between Glenn Close and Olivia Colman, in my opinion.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Now, Lady Gaga doesn't have a chance.
You heard it here on the movie Muse.
Nope.
I just want to ask, too, Naomi, do you know how to wake up Lady Gaga?
No.
You poke her face.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. This is when I wish I had sound effects here. No, it'd be...
That was real bad. You'll use that joke again.
No, I won't.
I'm going to make you say it after she wins. That's our bet.
I don't think I'll ever have to say it because there's no way she's going to win the Best Academy Award for Best Actress. You didn't watch Glenn Close in The Wife.
I don't have to see it. I know how these things work.
No.
She sings.
Glenn
she doesn't wear
Close.
makeup. She's got a big nose for part of it. They love that.
They love that, but Glenn Close, you said it yourself. She hasn't won an Oscar.
True.
And she's been nominated multiple times. It's like, this is her time.
Okay.
I'm going for it.
All right.
Like I said, we need to put some snacks on this or something.
I'll bet you a snack.
Okay.
Celery
We're
stick.
betting snacks. A celery stick snack on this. Okay. All right. So I'm going for Glenn Close. You're going for Lady Gaga.
But I want Olivia Colman.
Big mistake.
I'll live with it.
Well.
Live by the Gaga, die by the Gaga.
Are you a Lady Gaga fan?
Yeah, I like her.
I mean, do you have that on your playlist on your phone?
No.
Well, then you're not a true fan.
My girlfriend likes her more than me.
Well, but that's...
I like her.
You're not a little monster.
I'm also a middle-aged white dude. I'm not going to Lady Gaga.
Hey, I've got, some unusual stuff on my
you're
playlist.
Very hip. Look at your hat.
Look at my hat. It's hip. Okay. All right, so moving right along.
Yes.
Because we have about, 14 minutes left?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, we're cruising.
All right, so we did Best Supporting Actress, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor. I guess we're up to Best Actor now.
Sure.
Okay.
I think we all know who's going to win that.
We have Christian Bale for Vice, Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born, Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. So, who'd you call on this one?
Well, I don't want him to win, but Christian Bale is pretty much going to win.
Why don't you want Christian Bale to win?
Because it's not a good movie.
Well, maybe
I know
because
less
of
about
who he's playing.
Because the movie tells you nothing about Dick Cheney. And I guess that's the rub, is like he's a mysterious guy. But the issue, I was just talking about this at dinner, like Christian Bale's great as Dick Cheney, but like I was saying about Lady Gaga, they love it when you're a beautiful person who dresses ugly and acts ugly. And Dick Cheney's a quiet guy. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't say.
Charlize Theron in Monster.
Absolutely, right? They love that. That's why I'm picking Lady Gaga, just to get back to that. But Christian Bale.
And you're wrong.
Here's the problem.
You're gonna owe me that celery
That's
stick.
fine. I'll bring it down on a silver platter. Christian Bale invites. You got a character in Dick Cheney who doesn't talk. He's a quiet Machiavellian. Things are going on, so he doesn't do anything. Well, but it's a very liberal Hollywood, and it's a liberal Hollywood bias, obviously. All that
I
blah,
think
blah,
he's
blah.
going to win, but I do think he did put some subtlety in the role. And the biggest thing I liked about that film is that we learned about executive power, and how it can be delegated to the vice president.
Agreed.
So he kind of rechange that.
That is the takeaway from that movie, but it has nothing to do with Christian Bale. That's in the screenwriting.
No. Christian Bale, he had to work on his mannerisms.
Yeah.
He probably didn't have to stretch as far as other people, but he nailed the role.
There's a lot of I know you saw it, Eternity's Gate, and I love Willem Dafoe.
I did see Willem Dafoe.
There's a lot of
he does not do a French accent.
There's a lot of over the top actors in this, like Vigo and Green Book. I enjoyed it, but that's a very like, hey, how you doing? Very common Italian stereotype role, not a difficult pull.
Right.
I thought Rami Malek was the best part of Bohemian Rhapsody, which is a bad movie, but it's still just an impression at the end of the day.
Was amazing. I'm glad he won the Golden Globe for the
I love that guy.
Comedy,
it's just a bad movie. I don't,
Yeah. I agree.
And Bradley Cooper sounds like Yosemite Sam.
Bradley Cooper is kind of like, why did they nominate him for Best Actor when it could have gone to somebody like going back to Jonathan Pryce?
Agree. And here's a good segue. Not that it's my show, but we haven't really talked about snubs. And I think that's a good segue, because I think that my favorite movie of the year was First Reformed, and I feel like it got really hosed. The Paul Schrader film starring Ethan Hawke.
See that one,
Ethan Hawke not getting nominated for actor in a supporting role is the biggest snub.
Wow.
I mean, it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
That's my favorite movie of the year. It's a difficult watch, but he is fantastic in it. And I think that's the biggest snub of the year. I mean, it got nominated for Best Original Screenplay, I think, which is kind of like a token nod, but it's such a good movie. It's intense. It's a dark movie, and Ethan Hawke is incredible in it. So I think that's my. We didn't really talk about snubs. I don't know if you have anybody that hurt your heart.
Well, for me, it was Jonathan Pryce.
Now, yeah.
You know, honestly, the more I think about it, he could have been nominated for Best Actor. He could have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, compared to some of the performances that are here, I mean, Jonathan Pryce was amazing.
I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to that, but
Absolutely
I totally
amazing. Well, I love him anyway. One of my favorite films, for those of you who follow me, is Brazil.
Oh yeah, Terry Gilliam's Brazil.
I love the whole Monty Python group and some of their take on and view on life. And
well, maybe if Richard E. Grant wins, then Jonathan Pryce will get one for a lesser movie next year. He'll be like, that was our bad, you know.
Well, so going back to snubs. Well, I kind of, how do I say this? I do think that there's a lot of these nominees who are well deserved, but Willem Dafoe and Bradley Cooper should never have made this list for Best
The Willem
Actor.
Dafoe one isn't interesting. I haven't seen the film. I know you didn't respond to it.
I saw it, and I think Willem Dafoe is Willem Dafoe, and they did a great job on the makeup to make him look like Van Gogh. Mm-hmm. But honestly,
they just like slap an ear off him? That was the end of it? They're like, look, you're Van Gogh.
No, they gave him the red hair and the red beard, and you know, they made him look like Van Gogh.
He's actually a ginger in real life. I don't know if you know that.
Did not know that. I mean, he didn't seem like a ginger to me, but
no comment.
But going back to Willem Dafoe was good.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there were some scenes
He's always
in there.
Good.
And he's really a great actor, but I don't think he was better than Jonathan Pryce.
So that's your big snub.
That's my big snub for this. And I think for the Best Actor category, I'd have to say that, and also the fact that none of the people from, Black Klansmen made it for Best Actor and Best Supporting actor.
It was such an ensemble. I could see that.
I take that back. Adam Driver did make it for Best Supporting Actor, but that
Great
I think
movie.
I really enjoyed that movie. Plus, it won the Cannes Palme d'Or award too. So it's almost like the Europeans appreciate our films better than we do.
They always have. Yeah.
You know? So, all right. So before we finish, we still got to do Best Picture, but we have Best Director,
documentaries.
We have Best Cinematography.
Yep.
We have, do you want to skip best makeup and hairstyling?
Yeah, skip it just like the Oscars.
Okay. All right, so let's do best cinematography.
Okay.
I think that's important.
What about documentary? Are we going to do that?
I did not do a documentary, but why don't you go ahead
Can I just jump in on that?
Jump in on that, yeah.
So I think RBG is going to win.
Yes.
I just think it's a no-brainer, but I really want to give a shout out.
Free Solo has a good shot at it.
I just want to give a shout out to Minding the Gap, which is a little film that could. It's this guy, I forget, his name's Bing Lau, I believe. His first name's Bing. Oh. It's a documentary chronicling him and his skateboard friends through like 15 years of growing up. It's available on Hulu and Amazon Prime. It premiered on, I think it was on CNN last week or a Newsnet. It's a fantastic coming-of-age documentary that touches on abuse, alcoholism, growing up and being forgotten. And it's all, like, Bing is of Asian descent. One of his friends is African-American, one guy's white. It's a beautiful documentary for everybody. Like it's a skateboarding documentary, but it's way much more than that. Okay. And when I was on a jury up at the Ashland Film Festival, we awarded it Best Documentary, and I couldn't believe it got nominated for an Oscar. Well, it's a little film that's just beautiful. It looked
like a little film, and that's part of the reason why I didn't put it on my list, is because I didn't see
it's widely available. It'll knock your socks off. It's powerful.
I'm going to go look for it.
Yeah, please, everybody. Yeah, I loved it.
Mind the Gap, Free Solo, RBG. What were the other two?
Fathers and Sons and Hale County this evening, which I heard is fantastic too.
Yeah, see, I didn't see 3 out of the 5.
RBG's going to win, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, Free Solo has a good shot at it, though, too.
Come on.
Did you see Free Solo?
Yeah, but no, I didn't see it, but RBG, come on. You don't have to see him to pick him.
Yes, you do.
That's not true.
You can
make if a tree falls in the forest, Naomi, and no one hears it fall, does it make a noise?
Okay, well, my philosophy is I try to see as many of them so I can make my own judgment.
I've had a screener of RBG, and I want to watch it with my daughter, so we keep putting it off because we're rewatching the Brady Bunch, and that's more important.
Okay. Talk about snubs. RBG has been snubbed for the Brady Bunch
in
your
that's
household.
A heck of a show. Last week, Jan got a locket, and she couldn't figure out who gave it to her. I won't spoil who it was.
Please don't spoil it for me. No, I really want to know.
The week before that, Alice sprained her ankle.
Okay, so you did best documentary.
Yep. You want to do cinematography, and then we have
cinematography. So we've got Cold War, Lukáš Zal, The Favorite, Robbie Ryan, Never Look Away, Caleb Deschanel, Roma, Alfonso Cuarón, and A Star Is Born, Matthew Libatique.
Libatique. Yep, he's great.
All right, so I'm going for Roma on this one.
I think Roma's going to win too, but Cold War could pull the upset.
You know, I haven't seen Cold War, so I wanted to see it, but I just had to squeeze in Melissa McCarthy.
I'm telling you don't have to see everything to pick a winner.
Okay. But I'd like to.
I know, I would like to too, but there's not enough hours.
It's on my list.
Yeah, I think Cold War could sneak in there, but I think, like I said at the beginning of the show, I think Roma's going to have a big night.
We both agree on Roma.
Yeah.
For that one.
You want to sneak over to a foreign film real quick? Can we do that?
I didn't pick a foreign film because I didn't see them, so
it's probably going to be Roma.
It will likely be Roma, and but I didn't see the others.
So. Cold War could sneak in there too.
Okay, Cold War, so are you going for Roma?
I've heard a lot of good things. Yeah, Roma.
Okay. Yeah, see, on my list, for those of you who are going to download it later, in the upper right corner, you see my scribbling because I'm taking notes, but in the upper right corner, I actually say what categories I do not vote on.
And please note Dawn's note that you don't have to see it to pick a winner. My daughter won the Oscar pool one year, and she
didn't see any of them?
Well, she saw the animated ones.
Check marks? Okay, well... I've been trying really hard, especially with this new position that I love to do. It's not it's a volunteer.
It's a chore, but it's a fun chore.
It's a fun chore to do. Okay, so we have 4 minutes left.
What do we have left?
We have left, of
Director
course,
and picture?
Screenplay, best adapted screenplay, best director, and best picture. Okay, at least on my list.
Yep, me too. I mean, I got the list of all of them.
Best adapted screenplay: Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Black Klansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me, If Beale Street Could Talk, and A Star Is Born.
I'm going to pick mine?
Yeah.
I know we keep doing this because you just watched it, but I'm going to say Can You Ever Forgive Me is my choice to win and what I want to win.
Yeah, I liked it, but I liked Black Klansman better.
So I like Black Klansman better
Black
too.
Klansman.
But I'm still going
with... You're going for Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Yeah, I think for some reason the Academy doesn't like Spike Lee.
Well,
there's probably myriad reasons.
This might be a token to Spike Lee, though.
Yeah.
And once again,
the nomination might have been that.
Award.
Yeah.
So they might give it
I'd
to him for that.
I'd be perfectly happy if Black Klansman won.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going for Black Klansman.
I'd be perfectly happy if Beale Street Could Talk won as well. I really like that.
That's true. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to win compared to the others, and A Star Is Born is not going to win either.
Oh, here's another snub. Robert Redford for Old Man with a Gun.
I didn't see that one.
I love that movie. It's such a sweet and quiet movie that people saw it, I think, and forgot how much they loved it.
Oh.
It's such a good movie. Sissy Spacek should have got nominated.
Oh,
Robert Redford, and I think it should have got nominated for Best Picture. Just to slip that in there.
Well, I didn't see it, so I can't really comment.
It's out there. It's available.
Yeah.
And, you can. It's fantastic. It's just a nice movie.
Oh,
it's just very sweet. It's like a comfy old pair of
slippers. You said The Mule, but you said Robert Redford. Isn't that Clint Eastwood?
No, not The Mule. Old Man with a Gun.
Oh, Old Man with a Gun.
No Mule.
Okay.
I don't do Clint Eastwood films anymore. Get off my lawn.
Okay. All right. We got two more, and we got to wrap this up. All right. Best Director.
Wait, you forgot adapted or original screenplay.
Oh. No, we just did that. We did adapted.
Yeah.
I didn't vote on original. So you go for the original.
I'm just going to say Green Book. That's going to be all they win.
Green Book?
Yeah, but it should be First Reformed.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still saying Green Book's going to win. That's going to be their one award.
All right. So, okay. I was going to have you read it, but we have these last two.
We're running out of time.
About a minute and a half. Okay.
They're going to play us off, Naomi.
Best Director. Okay. Black Klansman, Spike Lee. Cold War, Paweł Pawlikowski.
Good job.
The Favorite, Yorgos Lanthimos. Roma, Alfonso Cuarón, and Vice, Adam McKay. And I think we both agree it's going to go to Alfonso Cuarón.
Probably, but I think, like I keep saying, the Favorite could shake things up.
I don't think so.
Not this time?
No.
I love Yorgos Lanthimos.
I
pronounce
told
it like
you about
it's Spanish, but he's
the whole
Greek.
thing with the fishbowl
points
of view, and no, I just didn't go for it. Okay, last one, and then we're going to wrap this up. Best Picture, there are 8 nominees. Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice. And I think, as you probably can guess, I'm going for Roma.
Yep.
You are too, right?
I am too, but I wouldn't be surprised if The Favorite snuck in there. I think, here's my take on this. I know we're running out of time.
20 seconds.
I know. I think they might turn against Netflix, and that could cost Roma. That'd be the only thing that would stop Roma, is if the Academy's like, I don't want this Netflix stuff getting in here.
Maybe.
That could happen.
That could happen.
Well, guess we'll know next week.
We will find out.
All right.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
See you at the next screening, everyone, and stay inspired.